We enjoyed your show, as I said. People went half crazy from here. Thank you very much for being in Belgrade.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Our pleasure.
And thank you very much for providing a wonderful atmosphere and attitude, for the musicians, so that we really feel comfortable.
Thank you. People here understand English, so we can make it without any translating. So we can start. Zamolio bih vas samo, pošto su oni putovali noćas iz Leverkusena za Düsseldorf, Zürich, Skoplje, Beograd. Sutra se vraćaju za Skoplje, molim vas da bude vrlo kratka i efikasna konferencija i da su bukvalno jedva odvojili gospodina Hancocka u zahvalnost da vam se posveti 10-15 minuta. Tako da smo da počnemo, da budemo brzi i efikasni sa pravim letnim pitanjem. Izvolite. Mr. Pančić.
Mr. Hancocka, we want to thank you so much that you're coming again.
Thank you.
Here, I would like to ask you if you tonight, as on a front tour of Gershwins world, the same thing that we heard in new standards. So, it seems that you have a completely different concept when you play your concerts and when you record your records.
Right.
In time when you record, right, do you have in mind which kind of concert will be on tour, and is there any kind of material that you plan to publish one day from those concerts?
First of all, it's a very, very simple answer. When we do the record, it's the first time that we've played the music in a serious situation, not rehearsals. The record is the first one. After that, when you tour, every night the music begins to evolve from the recording. So as time passes, the music, that evolution of the music can take on some details and some shifting of the expression of the original concept. So you can understand that part. What's behind it all is that concept. The original concept is always there. The record is just the first time that the first example of that concept. And then as you play different concerts, every night the music is different, but it begins to evolve. But that evolution is not just the music. Considering that there's 6 people there playing, there's an individual development of your relationship with the music. There's also your relationship with the other musicians with that music. In other words, how the team responds. And so in time, the character of the music can take on many different forms, but it still comes from usually it still comes from the original concept that gave birth to the record.
And your feeling about Gershwin's music changed in that 1 year, first in American tour and then after European tour?
No, because I'm not thinking about Gershwin when I play.
Really?
Right, I'm not thinking about anything when I play. I'm involved with a process. It's a process of letting go. To let go. To open, it's like opening the gates so that honesty and sincerity and passion and compassion and all those things that are the most beautiful and the most valuable, priceless things that every human being has, You know, because that's what I want when I play. I want to open the gates so that those things can come through. And the reason I want that to happen is not just for my own enjoyment, but most people don't realize they have exactly the same thing. They have a different kind of job, but the ability to open the gates to let their humanity come through is something that everybody possesses. You know? And it's something that, you know, if I want to support anything, that's what I want to support. Is for everybody to experience that kind of opening process, you know, and I always hope that the music will create an atmosphere that touches different centers in the audience. Of course, it won't touch everybody, you know. At the same time, the audience and the atmosphere is what create what is. Those are parts of the elements to make that happen for me. So it's kind of us giving back to the audience and the atmosphere what they already gave to us. I know that sounds a little. I hope you get a feeling for what I'm saying. Okay.
No, izvoli.
Tell us something about musicians from 21st century, his main characteristics, and the record for morning of 1st January. Your recommendation.
My recommendations for what?
For record.
For a record?
Yes, not
CD.
CD or something like that. Record.
Okay. If you want short answers, why do you ask me those kinds of questions? If you want a short answer, then you ask me questions like where were you born? You know? Do you want my answer or you want a short one?
Yes, I want your answer, but
Okay.
my colleague wants to do for another 10
Okay. So, now I forgot what the questions were. So what was the first one?
About musicians.
For the 21st century. Well, I can't speak for musicians for the 21st century because I'm only one of them. My hope is that the idea of the human spirit becomes more clearly recognized as probably the most important element that's in the music, and for the musicians to realize that. All right. That was a pretty short answer. And the other thing was, what was it?
Record for 1st January.
Huh? My what?
Record for 1st January.
Oh, record, not CD. What would I want to, like, almost like a memoir or something? Is that what you mean? That the concept of focusing on the priceless attributes of the human spirit, you know, hope, courage, individuality, and at the same time sharing in the spirit of a team, you know. Oh, I can say it in a much better way. That the idea of the human beings on the planet working much more toward becoming an orchestra. That's the kind of memoir I would like to be part of. Well, there's a very important reason for it. At some point, there are going to be too many people if we don't kill ourselves. There will be too many people and too little food. And so we will have to colonize some other planets somewhere. That's going to happen if we survive. If we're not stupid, you know, which most of the time we're pretty stupid. But I don't want to see us do to another planet what we did to this one. You know? So, in order for that to happen, we need to grow up. You know, we need to understand the beauty of being a human being, the beauty that's inside of each of us. We need to understand what that's about, and that we are all part of an orchestra. You know, when we even get to some to get some feeling for that, then we may be on the road to deserving to colonize another planet. But until that happens, we're not worth it yet. But so it means we have a lot of work to do.
In past decades, we expanded on the music. So I would like to know, these things come completely spontaneously, or because some people have found some closeness between mathematics and music. Sometimes you can say, okay, let's try this way, let's try fixed time music this way, or it's completely spontaneous.
What I like to do is to, I understand there's a scientist in here. In Herbie Hancock, there's a scientist in there. You know, very analytical, slightly intellectual, somewhat, But there's also this musician, jazz musician too, because a jazz musician improvises. And because of the experiences that I've had with wonderful mentors, like Miles Davis, for example, and the whole band from the 60s of Miles Davis, Tony Williams, Ron Carter, first George Coleman and then Wayne Shorter. I learned many things from working with that band. And one of the most important things is to not be afraid to reach beyond what you know. So I do have, I've been in the music business now for 40 years professionally. And actually I've been playing piano now since 1947. So that's, what was that, 52 years, And that's a long time. My feeling is that those lessons that I learned from Miles and from that band are some of the most important in my own life, and it's some of the things that are the most important things for me to contribute to and transmit through music to other people. Reaching beyond what you know, so that you're sort of in this ether, but if you have this trust in yourself, trust in the musicians you're working with, or if you're not a musician, trust in the team, and that each person is serious, sincere, and has humility and compassion, then you feel that there's a possibility for reaching beyond what you know to work. But it requires those kinds of elements that I mentioned, the compassion, the humility, the teamwork, the sharing, and all of those things.
If you don't mind, I have two more questions.
The last ones.
Okay. Other people, when they're trying to create their own versions of other people's music, they usually put their own flavor in the beat. But you seem to just take one, maybe two beats, and then create your own story. I may be wrong, but is it like that, or?
Oh, that I may like.
You just take one or two beats, not the whole song, not the whole tune, just one or two beats, and then you try to create your own story.
Yeah, because. Okay, here's an example, another metaphor. Digital technology only has two numbers, a 1 and a 0. And look what we have. With just a 1 and a 0, it's amazing. That's binary, binary mathematics and so forth. I've heard that if we use tertiary, which is to have three things, it would be so complicated and to try to figure out how to make the software that the technology world has stayed away from even getting into that. It's much too complicated. So it's true. Sometimes I'll take one or two notes because that's I could look at it as that's all I need, or I could look at it as that's all I can handle. Put any more in me, and then it's too much. Maybe when I'm 70 years old, because I'm almost 60. Next year I'll be 60. Maybe when I'm 70 years old, I can handle a little more. I don't know. No. I think that's not fair. You had two questions. We said
That's the last one.
Okay.
Because Phil will kill me.
No, that's all right. That's all
The
right.
lady last. Okay. Bob and.
Okay. I'll make.
I'm going to go home. My colleagues present here tonight. We couldn't clearly hear the names of all your musicians on the stage. Can you repeat the names? This is the first thing, and the second, very short one. Do you have in your future maybe idea to tackle Thelonious Monk as you did brilliantly with Gershwin?
Okay, I'll answer the second question first. I had not thought about tackling Thelonious Monk yet. I thought about tackling Duke Ellington, but I didn't want Duke Ellington to be number 2 and Gershwin to be number 1. You know what I mean? Because I did the Gershwin project, and to do the same thing with Duke Ellington would be, in a way, making Duke Ellington sort of number 2. And Duke Ellington deserves his own unique number 1. And so we had a different idea of how to approach making a record about Duke Ellington. But different things happened in my career that made it impossible to even do impossible to do a Duke Ellington project in this year. See, I haven't made a record since I did Gershwin's World, and already it's 1 year old. I'm going to make another record next year, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. There's a couple of ideas that we have, but perhaps in the future I might think about that. I don't know yet. Time will tell. Okay, and the other question, what was it? Huh?
Names of the musicians.
Names of musicians. Give them the names of the musicians. I don't have to waste everybody's time. Isn't it on the program or
Good
something?
deal. Okay, good deal.
Okay, all right. Anybody else?
And the last question, Vladimir, please.
Last question for radio recording. What is your, can you tell something about your present music expression?
My present music
Expression.
expression. You mean like tonight?
No, I think at all.
In general?
Yeah, in general.
Well, most of the answers that I gave
Yeah, I see.
were really about that today. You know. I'm actually more interested in focusing on expressing whatever's in my human spirit than whatever's in my musician spirit. You know, my relationship to people. You know, I mean, I love people. They're beautiful things. You know, everyone. You know, and so that makes me humble. You know, but most people don't realize how beautiful they are. You know, and I want them to know. So that's what's in my heart. You know. But I don't really know how to do that, but just to be and to believe that. No, thank you.
So today on the plane I told you that your concert will be a ray of light for the audience. So it was a ray of light really, and I want to thank you in the name of everybody in the hall, with all people here, for being with us tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Hvala
much.
vam i izvinite za ovo kašnjenje, ali nadam se da je vredelo.
Thank you, because you made us sit. Tonight we'll be playing music from my latest CD, which is called Gershwins World. And I'd like to introduce you to some of the most important musicians in the world of music, and in particular, the world of jazz. First, let me introduce you. First, let me see if this chord is long enough. It's long enough. Now, we'll start over here. The man who plays the most instruments. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's only one. Too many. Too many for me. Enough for you. From Brazil, this is Ciro Batista. And on drums, I don't get all that. Actually, we're the only two that live in Los Angeles. So everybody else they live in New York. I don't know why. But this is an incredible drummer. His name is Terry Lynn Carrington. Actually, we have 1, 2, 3 people who were not born in the United States. 3 different parts of the world. 3 different parts of the world. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, this is a very international band. But only one person actually was born in Europe because of You're probably wrong. Him. He was born in Sweden. This is Ira Coleman on bass. Sweden. But he lives in New York. And this young man doesn't live anywhere. What's your address? No, you're homeless? Homeless. He's kind of homeless. Yeah. But actually, he was born in Israel, and now he is a citizen of the world. This is Eli DeGibri on saxophone. So next we get to almost the youngest man in the band. I'm the youngest. He's next. And he's got a very nice jacket and tie. Too. But we have the same pants. Shoes are different. Okay. But don't even think about that. But when he plays the flugelhorn and the trumpet, that's a marvel to experience. This is Eddie Henderson. So we'll be playing many songs from Gershwin's world. Sometimes they go from one song directly into the next, So, but we're going to start off with our concept of fascinating rhythm with Ciro Batista.
pauzu.
I onda ovako, i onda la 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 la.
O Joana, evo sad, mislim, to kolega.
I have a very heavy question. What's in the human nature, especially Greek, that drives it into blues, hard, noisy, provocative? That's my question.
Well, what makes you love somebody? You cannot choose. You just fall in love, right? You don't say, oh, this woman looks that way or looks the other way, so it's perfect for me. Just happens. You cannot say many things about it, but one thing is true, that this music is like Furulus said. Furulus is an old bluesman. This music, the blues, is the truth. That's what he said. And each and every one's truth. So this, what we're playing, it's our truth. It's a nice thing to play the blues. No doubt about it.
And it's the same truth that we share with people in Greece or Yugoslavia or anywhere else for that matter.
Does it mean that they must get in love? Otherwise you won't understand. I'm too young to get in love.
You got many years. Be patient.
Well, it is kind of emotion that brings you again and again in Belgrade. Even when you don't play your music, you like to come. So, explain that emotion.
Well, I'll tell you what. Joe's got the fever for 2 days or 3 days now, and I'm wearing a special belt because I really have big problems with my back. And if it wasn't for Beograd, I'm telling you, we wouldn't come. I'm not telling this to make you feel, you know. But this is the truth. We got good friends here, and we got people that really love. That's the truth. It's always a pleasure.
Special for us to come here.
Koji mnogo dosta naravno tamo, u stvari ono što sam tamo spoznala je u stvari koliko je divno imati band, što to se tamo ne dešava često, čak mnogi ljudi provedu mnogo godina svirajući po klubovima, čak jako velika imena i imaju problema naći band, zaista ljudi koje razumeju, koji razumeju na bini, koji se međusobno razumeju, to je velika stvar. Druga stvar, naravno, moj grad i sve to, i ne nameravam da napišem na duže vreme, naravno, nameravam da znači da je zadovoljstvo svirati ovdje, toliko puno dobrih muzičara, kao i sve. Ono što mene vuče da idem tamo je su neka nova poznanstva i novi muzičari, ljudi koji drugačije možda kad drugi blues, bilo koju drugu vrstu muzike, ali naravno to sve isto dešava u ovdje, to je drugo koje radi. Zašto volimo da uvek tako radimo, znači ovdje i tamo ne treba se potrebno. Problem što ne možemo da putujemo i da nemamo to iskustvo. Izmenjujemo to iskustvo.
Tako je, sam si se radila drugačije, sad si tamo sad napišeš zrelije drugačije.
Pa drugačije, ono što ja kada sam otišla tamo, neki prvi utisak i u stvari da se datila ona neka slika Beograd u 91. 90. 89. Mada sam ja tada bila prilično mlada. Ali neki taj utisak, pretpostavljam da je to neki Beograd sa puno koncerta, puno dešavanja, opušten, naravno ljudi, opušteni. To se sada malo izgubilo i zato imamo tu razliku. A ono što se stalno dešalo je Beograd 90. Znači toliko opušteno, toliko puno muzičara, prostora, svaku vrstu muzike. Ima publike za svaku vrstu muzike, festivali su jako česti, koncerti, bilo kakve. Znači, sve što smo mi u stvari imali, ali smo izgubili, znači, samo ta razlika. Znači, potpuno isto kao i ovdje, kao i bilo gde postoje klubovi, manji klubovi, veći bendovi, manji bendovi. sa većim zaradama, ali nešto pop ili neka blues priča.
Znači, psihologija vrlo brzo raspasti male politike.
Ne znam šta se nama desi, ali ne.
Ne znam ih.
General problem now in Europe, I think, talking about blues festivals, is that when somebody is organizing a blues festival, he's searching for the very famous
Big name.
songs, big name from America, I suppose, to organize the festival. And that's always a problem because we know that we have many good bands in Europe, in many countries in Europe. So what is this? Can you describe how can these smaller bands by name, but good bands by their music, make a success? How can them make them to become the stars of the festivals?
Only by being the best, even the best. Otherwise, if you have USA after the name, it's top.
It doesn't
You
have
still fight.
It doesn't have to be that way. I mean, you can still fight, but you're still, if you're in Europe, you're on your own home ground, and you can more easily help to build that awareness of the people that you're here, you're good, and they should come and listen to you again. Well, you have to press your point, fight your case. But there's, I wouldn't call it a media conspiracy, but still, people have to become aware some way, well, the general public, so to speak, that there are good blues bands hailing from Europe, like for European audiences. And sometimes you might not need an American band for that. You want to have a good time, you can have a good festival.
And Holland have that kind of problem. I'm interested, do you have that kind of problem in Greece?
Yes, everybody got that problem. I wanted to say that. I wanted to say that it's not easy for sure, but same problems. Those big names, or so-called big names, they've got the same problems in their own hometowns. You know, many of these big American names. I'll give you an example. We used to play in Thessaloniki, our hometown, for 6 years in a row, 5 nights a week at a club, and was really something. I mean, a lot of people would come and we're having fun, and we'd play together with other people, and we invited many American people like John Hammond, Katie Webster, Carrie Bell, many people, and we played together. And most of these people, they would come and ask us, so you playing here tonight for tonight, or you're tomorrow night? And we would say, no, this is our home, this is our place, we play 5 nights a week. Wow, you're so lucky. That they would say, of course, it's many things. It's the money. It's, many promoters, they invite somebody from the States alone, and they got local bands, you know, to play with him, which is sometimes maybe it's good, but sometimes really it doesn't work.
Yeah, but let's face it, if there wasn't a good level for blues bands in Europe, they wouldn't do it in the first place. They would just ask the whole band to come over from the United States, which they don't do.
Another question. Maybe you'll find it funny one. For me, it's quite important to find out how the name blues comes and why.
I am the one who's supposed to ask the question because.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, okay. We used to call our band the Blues Gang when we first started. Gang. Yeah.
I look like.
Well, that was for 3 years, from 1983 to 1986. Then I changed the name to Blues Y 031. And I had in mind that we've got to use a name that can inform the people what kind of music we play, what we want to do with this music, and where we come from. So blues, of course, shows what we love to play. Wire is, it's for telegraph and stuff like that. So you can say we try to spread this music from our hometown of Thessaloniki. The dial number, it's 031. But after a while, we started to play around Europe, and nobody understood what this 031 stands for. So they called us simply the blues wire, and after 2 or 3 years, we.
Yeah, I was in London at the time, and I thought they were from Edinburgh. I thought they were Scottish.
Sorry,
So as we promised 10 minutes, last question, and let's
Šta je sa sirovom kožom?
Sirova koža je Roll Height upravo počinje da svira posle 8 mjeseci pauze. Imali smo jednu svirku u Senti, to je bilo 21. Znači, u četvrtak?
Naravno.
Četvrtak, u petak su bili u Budimpešti, u subotu u Segedinu, još smo imali u Olmaru i večera smo ovdje. Da, mogu da kažem samo da ćemo sljedećeg utorka